In 1941, they let it happen, and now in 2025, it is happening again in Gaza.
Is a brand new book. It just came out July 23rd, 2025. It's called They Chose Greed, The Orange Book's Reckoning, and it's written by Mohammed Raj Abdullah. So our mission really is to unpack the core story here, peel back the layers of this world the author paints, shaped by these huge choices, and see what surprising facts or insights jump out. It's a pretty compelling picture.
Definitely. And this deep dive, it's like a shortcut for you. A shortcut to understanding this, unique take on global control, environmental disaster, and this one guy's really radical plan to fight back. And all along, we're going to ask you to think about the why, Why is this information presented this way? Because it really forces some tough questions. Okay, let's get into it. Let's unpack the atmosphere the book creates right at the start. It opens with this clandestine meeting. Very cinematic, really. It's a rented back room in an abandoned warehouse somewhere in northern Istanbul. And the book really emphasizes the contrast, right? This hidden spot versus the outside world it describes as just buzzing with artificial lights, synthetic food, and manipulated truths. So that's quite a scene.
Oh, absolutely. It sets the tone immediately. And
yeah.
Inside this hidden room, we meet the two key players, Agent Jabir and this investigative journalist, Matthew Adams. They have this weekly ritual, the book says, totally off-grid, just dissecting reality, as they put it. It's an unlikely pairing, clearly. And you get the sense Jabir really respects Adams, his courage. He notes how rare real journalists are in the world he's depicting.
Right. And Adams, he just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't he? His main point, the thing that gives the book its title, is pretty damning. He basically says, those people who chose greed in the past in regards to Earth's resources ruined everything for the rest of us. That's the core claim. He lists it out. Privatized water, poison the soil, replace trees with screens and sunlight with UV simulations. And then the kicker. And they call it progress. It's a bleak outlook.
It is bleak.
Yep.
And it's against that backdrop, this collapsed environment, this corporate control, that Agent Jabir makes this incredibly calm, almost unnerving statement. He just says, no one will touch me. Simple as that.
And when Adams questions him, how can you be so sure?
Yeah, the reason he gives is because of the Orange Book. That's his ace in the hole, apparently.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, right? The Orange Book.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you think. Jabir reveals it's not like a physical book with pages. No, it's a USB Drive 1 connected to an autonomous AI. And the contents. Wow. It's blackmail, truth, leaks, and full psychological profiles of over 200 top officials worldwide. We're talking politicians, CEOs, generals, the works.
Mm-hmm. Massive leverage.
And there's this failsafe, too. If Jabir dies, but not naturally, if something happens to him,
right,
the AI uploads everything.
Yes.
Everything. To the entire internet from some secret location only he knows. It's wild, straight out of a spy novel.
It is. And you immediately think, okay, what's the justification here, holding that kind of power? And Jabir's reasoning is really central to the book's conflict. He admits he's blackmailing the global elite, yeah, but he frames it differently. He sees it as surviving, and more than that, holding back the collapse for as long as I can.
So self-preservation, but also delaying the inevitable.
Kind of. And it forces you, the reader, to ask, well, do the normal rules of ethics even count when the alternative is total collapse? It's a real moral tightrope the author makes you walk.
And his backstory adds another layer entirely. Adams digs into it, and Jabir admits he wasn't always against them. He says, I was once part of them. Recruited young, in his 20s, groomed to be one of their enforcers, is the phrase used.
Wow. So he was an insider.
Exactly. But he says, I saw the lies from the inside, and I saw the cost. So it's personal. It's a betrayal that fuels him, at least partly.
Which makes you ask, okay, what was the final straw? What pushed him from being an enforcer to this? And he drops this historical bombshell. It really shows you his worldview. He claims that back in 1941, these people let the Jewish Holocaust happen.
Whoa.
Yeah. He says they could have stopped it earlier. The Vatican, the Allies, the banks, everyone knew. But according to him, stopping it didn't serve their profit margins.
Oh.
And he directly references the book title again.
Yeah.
They chose greed as correct. The book presents this as like the historical template for their behavior, profit over lives.
Okay, so that's the historical parallel he draws. How does he connect that to the present or the future in the book's world? He has this chilling line, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. But the rhyme this time is bigger, scarier. He says the genocide isn't limited to one people, it's the whole species. And that loops right back to the environmental stuff Adams was talking about, right? The poisoned soil, the privatized water.
Precisely. It's the same pattern, he argues, but amplified to a global existential scale.
Mm-hmm.
And his philosophy for dealing with it, it's radical, almost nihilistic, you could say. He states flat out, we're past the point of reform. You can't negotiate with a cancer. You cut it out.
Wow, no room for compromise there.
None. And when Adams asks about what truly drives him beyond just surviving or delaying things, Jabir's answer is stark. He says, hope is not a strategy, but revenge can be a warning to others.
Revenge is a warning. It's a dark motivation.
It is. And again, the book puts this extreme philosophy out there, making you question, well, what do you do when systems seem completely broken, completely corrupt? At what point does radical action become the only option in some people's eyes?
And then the ending of their meeting, or at least this part of the narrative, Jabir has this final message for Adams about the book he's writing. He tells him, this book you're writing, they chose greed. It's not just about the past. It's a mirror. Make sure people see what's staring back at them.
Powerful imagery.
Yeah, mirror?
Yeah. And then, just like that, poof, he disappears. Into the shadows, the book says. Leaving Adams to write the final line of that section. They knew. They profited. And they chose greed. But some of us are still watching.
Chillin', leaves you hanging, wanting to know what happens next. Who else is watching?
Okay, so let's just quickly recap what we've unpacked here.
Yeah.
We've delved into this narrative, this Mohammed Raj Abdullah book, where you've got global power, you've got history used as justification, this high-tech blackmail scheme.
All painting a picture of a world really teetering on the edge, and this one man's extreme vision for, well, maybe not saving it, but holding it back.
Exactly. We've touched on the consequences of greed as the book presents them, this idea of history rhyming with potentially catastrophic consequences, and that really unsettling perspective that maybe, just maybe, some situations are actually past the point of reform. It's heavy stuff, definitely thought-provoking from the author.
So here's something to chew on, a final thought for you listening right now. If this book, They Chose Greed, is meant to be a mirror, like Agent Jabir says, what do you think it reflects about the choices being made in our world today? And maybe more importantly, what does it make you see or want to see differently?